Once again, it will be a charged-up crowd here at Staples Center in Los Angeles for Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinal series matching the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Spurs won the first two games in San Antonio, each by 10 points. Lakers bouncing back with that convincing victory here on Sunday. Now this, the scene at 5:19 Pacific Coast time this afternoon when Kobe Bryant arrived here at Staples, making it back from his pre-trial hearing in Eagle, Colorado, and he is in the starting lineup. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, the Czar, Mike Fratello, Doug Collins with us. Craig Sager will be joining us later on, ready for the second of our TNT playoff doubleheader. A look at tonight's McDonald's starting lineups. Tim Duncan, Hedo Turkoglu on the front line. Rasho Nesterovic hoping to bounce back from a quiet one the other day. Bruce Bowen, Tony Parker in the backcourt. Karl Malone, Devin George with Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Gary Payton. And the Lakers control the opening tips. The officials, Bennett Salvatore, Monty McCutcheon, and Tom Washington. Here is Malone with the step. Rebounded by Nesterovic.
And you saw the pressure right there on the pass. A lot of pressure by Duncan on Malone, so he couldn't throw that lob.
Wide open opportunity for Rasho Nesterovic.
Well, good start here, Marv, for San Antonio. They were on their heels in Game 3. The Lakers came out, Mike, with such great energy. Greg Popovich said, I want to see an aggressive, competitive team.
Here's Bryant, and he draws the foul.
Because of the fact, Doug, that Nesterovic made the jump shot, San Antonio was able to extend their defense and start pressuring the ball in the backcourt, something they didn't do a lot of last game because they weren't making a whole lot of shots.
Foul on Nesterovic. Now this the fourth time that Kobe Bryant has played on the same day that he's had a court hearing in Colorado. In his three previous times, all games won by the Lakers. Had the game-winning shot against Denver, had 36, then he had 31. The last time was late April, and he played exceptionally well in that closeout game against the Houston Rockets.
Well, Marv, Phil Jackson will keep his eye on Kobe here close. In the closeout game against Houston, he got off to a little bit of a sluggish start. It was one of the travel days to Eagle. Coutinho Mobley got off to a great start. He took him out at the 4-minute mark, gave him a great rest. He came in and was terrific the rest of the way.
Tony Parker, who was outplayed on Sunday by Gary Payton after Parker had two exceptional games in San Antonio. Here's Duncan looking to put a move on Malone. Bryant over to help. Shot clock down to 2, down to 1. Duncan had to force it, rebounded, and handled by Bowen. He took it away from Bryant.
Kobe Bryant had the handle on it for a split second. Bowen snuck around, knocked it free. San Antonio gets another possession.
Turkoglu not shot well in this series. And Turkoglu says it was deflected by a Laker, so he let it go.
Mark, they're going to need Hedo Turkoglu. He's having a terrible series right now. He's 5 of 21, shooting 2 of 11 from 3. He's one of their critical outside shooters. We talked to Popovich before the game. He said, I need him to come through for us.
Well, two of the shooters actually have not been here, okay, in this series. One Turkoglu, another Robert Horry.
Karl Malone, who played so well on Sunday, 13 points, 5 assists, is able to hit that medium-range jumper. Foul is called on Payton.
You know, Mike, as we watch the Laker defense here, so much was talking about adjustments, and one of the things to keep around is Kobe Bryant and Devin George are sort of wild cards defensively, and they're going to be the ones to look to run and double team Duncan and help out. There's going to be a lot of perimeter shots for the guys for San Antonio.
Sometimes this game just comes down to making shots. As you know, you're wide open, you have to shoot it, and you've got to make a couple to put the pressure on the defense.
Shot clock down at 2. Turkoglu has to fire. Back comes Payton. Here's George. Open shot for Bryant. Yes, it's a 3 for Kobe Bryant. Lakers 6, Spurs 2, an early timeout taken by Greg Popovich.
Well, a major factor in game number 3 was the fact that Kobe Bryant made 4 out of 7 3-point shots. So here they come down, they swing the ball a little bit, he gets himself set, launches a 3. It's a sigh of relief for Kobe Bryant because after a very long day, he gets himself untracked immediately with one from downtown.
take away the pick and roll. They were double teaming Duncan. That left a lot of three-point attempts. 27 for San Antonio. They got to do a better job of mixing in their threes and getting to the free throw line.
And Turkoglu with the step, but not able to hit. Rebound. Czar, do you feel we're seeing the same kind of energy from the Lakers that we saw in Game 3?
To me, the most notable thing about Game 3 was how high this group. You see Gary Payton score from down low, and that's where Payton was most comfortable down near the basket. But the energy that the Lakers came out with in game number 3 was incredible. Kobe on the floor for a loose ball. Shaq for a loose ball below into the stanchion.
Nice move by Turkoglu. Hedo Turkoglu, only 1 of 7 from the field in 23 minutes on Sunday with his first bucket here tonight.
Well, he doesn't have to be just a standstill shooter. He has the ability and the size to get to the basket. 2 straight drives. He finished the second.
Shaquille O'Neal coming off at 11 of 13 the other day. Setting up in the post, facing the double team. Handled by Duncan.
I don't know if it was an accident or not, Doug, but that time Disturbance got caught behind Shaq in the low post. Shaq wasn't up high. He was posted down low, and Disturbance played behind him, which is not the norm based on the first 3 games.
Here's Parker. Yes. Tony Parker, brilliant in the 2 games in San Antonio, was outplayed by Gary Payton the other day. Payton with the bounce back. Parker only 8 points, 5 assists. Bryant. And back comes Parker.
So the pressure by San Antonio speeds up the Lakers. They wind up taking a quick, hurried shot that time.
Turkoglu wide open from downtown. Look, Greg Popovich telling us earlier, Game 3, they certainly had the open looks, but were not able to hit shots. And now San Antonio hitting the shots.
You know, Mike, in a game like this, you take that emotional surge. It seems like the Spurs have done that. They've settled down the last 3 or 4 possessions. Been much better for them offensively.
7 unanswered points by the Spurs. Bryant lost his balance, being played by Duncan on the switch. And here is Bryant for O'Neal. Ah! For Shaq, his first field goal.
And Kobe felt Duncan come out and play him. He slipped and fell, regained his balance. Then he knew his job was to drive past him and create a shot for a teammate.
Once again, they double up on Duncan. Payton comes over again. They get the ball out of the hands of Duncan. Bowen going high off glass, rebounded by Payton. Payton with the spin. Finds O'Neal, and a foul.
You know, Mike, it's interesting. In the double teams for the Spurs, one of the things you have to be able to do out of those double teams is get the ball to the weak side of the floor. And the Lakers are doing a great job out of the double teams, not letting the ball swing, and it's forcing the Spurs into some tough shots. So Duncan's going to have to do a good job out of those double teams, trying to get the ball to the weak side of the floor where the shooters are.
The reason why it's so important to keep the ball on one side of the floor is that the other people away from the ball then become like center fielders. They can play the whole other half of the court, see what's going on, take away the cutters, and look to anticipate passes.
Foul was called on Duncan, and Shaq way off on that first attempt. You saw his free throw shooting a moment ago on that graphic, just 6 of 11 in Game 3.
Now, the defensive rotation last time, when the Spurs doubled down on O'Neal, Duncan rotated out from the bottom to play Kobe, and they kept Turkoglu inside. I was shocked. Normally you keep your big in. They rotated Duncan out. We'll have to see if they keep doing that.
I would think that would be a mistake.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to continue to do that.
Lakers up by 2. Duncan sends the pick. O'Neal jumping out on Bowen. Here's Duncan taking advantage and then blows the stuff.
You see how quickly Duncan tried to split that double team that was coming. He knew he had Kobe Bryant. He knew that Shaq was going to come back to double. As soon as he caught it, he put it on the floor, split the 2 defenders, and tried to finish it.
You know, sometimes you start looking for that double team and it doesn't come, and you get out of your rhythm. You got to go. You got to make that play.
Payton getting inside, spinning on Parker. Lakers now lead it 13-9. Greg Popovich about to make a change. Robert Horry over at the scorer's table. Here's Bowen. Yes.
Hey, Doug, I get the feeling the name of the last play that the Lakers ran was Seattle.
I was thinking the same thing.
They called out Seattle as they came down. That's where Gary Payton is so used to playing all those years in Seattle. Down on the block.
That's a good call.
Here's Bryant. Kobe landing back on the baseline. It's a 5-on-4 here for San Antonio. Turkoglu is open for three. Yes! His second from downtown, and the Spurs lead by 1.
Well, we talked about him being so critical. He's been a guy all year long that when they put him in the starting lineup, he plays so well off Duncan in the double teams.
Once again, Payton posting. Malone. Turkoglu off to the fast start. Turkoglu's pass intercepted by George. It's a 3-on-1. Payton. That comes Parker, but the Lakers are back. Turkoglu again for 3. Yes! Hedo Turkoglu on fire. He's 4 of 6. 3 for 3 from beyond that three-point line. He has 11, and the Lakers take a timeout.
Well, they may be keeping Parker out of the lane in set plays, pick and rolls, but in transition, he's able to push the ball, draw 3 gold jerseys, and he finds a wide open Turkoglu for 3.
Welcome back to LA, where the Spurs have a 17-13 lead. Kobe Bryant spent most of the day traveling from LA back to Colorado to that courthouse and then back to LA, where he is facing the Chargers and expected to enter the plea bargain. He got up shortly before 4 o'clock in the morning, left at 4:45, and arrived at the courthouse in Eagle County, Colorado at 8:10. As the day grew on and the anticipation became evident that he was going to enter a plea, our cameras were in the courtroom.
How do you plead? Not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Plea of not guilty will be entered.
What a contrast. Kobe Bryant leaving a courthouse in Colorado, entering a plea of not guilty, facing felony charges of sexual assault, then arriving in a golf cart at Staples Center to take a basketball court center stage before a full Staples Arena and a nationally televised audience in a playoff game. So far, Kobe is 1 for 3 with 4 points.
All right, Craig, just under 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. An 8-0 run by San Antonio. 6 of those 8 points scored by Hedo Turkoglu. And San Antonio, after hitting 1 of their first 4, have connected on 6 of their last 8 from the field. Manu Ginobili has come on for the first time. Robert Horry now in that Spurs lineup. Turkoglu this time passing on the 3. Horry finding Ginobili for 3. Yes! Well, earlier we touched on the fact that the Spurs attempted a playoff record 27 three-pointers the other day here on Sunday. They had all these open looks. They were not able to hit. Tonight they are 4 for 4 from downtown. Here is Malone. O'Neal able to reach for that rebound, and he is fouled.
You mentioned the three-point line for San Antonio. During the season, they averaged just under 14 attempts per game. They were the 6th best team in the NBA shooting the ball from the three-point line at over 35%. Turkoglu, who had an outstanding year from the three-point line, shooting 42%, he comes into tonight's game just 2 for 11 prior to these three-point attempts.
You know, Marv, it's pretty interesting, but what's happened also with San Antonio is after they saw how many shots they're going to have on the perimeter, their players are now ready to take these shots. Or he swings the ball, he's ready to unload that shot. So you now have prepared, you get your guys in the right spots, you make the extra pass, you know what the Lakers are doing defensively, and you're ready to pull the trigger. The important thing, though, is don't fall in love with that three. Sometimes you've got to dribble, penetrate, and make the extra pass. Mix your game up.
You know, Doug, I want to go back to the beginning of the game. There was a quick timeout by Greg Popovich. The score was 6-2. People might have been saying, why did he take a timeout that early? Because he knows his team as Duncan banks it off the glass from the left side of the floor. Popovich knows his team, and he knew that he needed a timeout to get him to regroup once again, get past the early emotion, get settled back into playing. A great timeout.
Tim Duncan with his first field goal, 3.5 to play in this first quarter, and the Spurs with a 22-14 advantage. Parker got the step, sets it up. Duncan is fouled. Nice play by Tony Parker.
You know what this also does, this first quarter, I mean, Tony Parker can get in the lane, and the important thing is for him to make good decisions. Don't force passes. Shaq steps over, he makes a nice little drop-off pass to Tim Duncan. But after the big emotional game, Mike, in Game 3, the Lakers' confidence was soaring. They were as high as they've been really all season long. What the Spurs have done is come in and pierced a little of that confidence here early. They're a team that plays better from ahead than from behind because they're not a great offensive team.
Yeah, they're a team that labors at times to put points on the board. Yet, when they get behind the three-point line and are making shots, then they can be an explosive team for segments of the game.
Derek Fisher has come on for the first time. It's a 14-1 run here by San Antonio. And Tim Duncan hits on both free throws. He did go 2 for 2 at the line the other day. And Tim has been having his problems at the line. In Game 1, he was 4 for 11. He said, maybe I should step to the side and start banking those free throws home. 10-point lead. There's the lob. Successfully done by Malone, as we saw on 3 occasions on Sunday.
Well, one thing you want to do with Shaq, you want to make him be a shot maker, not a layup and a dunk guy. And early in the game, they've done that. Really, that's the first play they've given him as an easy basket. Robert Horry's got to look for a shot here, Mike. He's not even looking for a shot. He's critical. He can space this defense. He's a guy, the reason he's on this team is to shoot the basketball.
Robert Horry shot the ball extremely well in that opening round series against Memphis. Looks to be reluctant to shoot thus far against his former team, the Lakers.
Look at this adjustment. Turkoglu on Payton's size to get him off the low post area.
Here's Bryant for 3. Kobe Bryant now 1 for 4.
You know, Mark, sometimes it's hard for a guy to come back and play against a team that he won a championship again. You're reluctant because you respect him so much. Here's Ginobili loading up the 3, and right now the Spurs are moving the ball, shooting it well. And when we talked to Phil Jackson before the game, he said, look, you know, they got a lot of open shots the other day.
Here's Fisher, rebounded by Ginobili. San Antonio is 5 for 5 from downtown.
Doug, what is Fisher doing on that shot?
I have no idea other than playing out of character. Because all that does is play into the Spurs' hands because the up-tempo game helps them. They're better in the open court.
Nice move, Malone from Bryant. Phil Jackson telling us also, I have no idea what we'll see tonight from the Lakers. It's just so difficult to tell from game to game. It appeared that they had opened up with the kind of energy we saw on Sunday. Shaq comes up with a loose ball. Back comes Fisher. Guns it down. Here's Bryant. He's fouled on the reach-in by Ginobili.
When you shoot the corner jump shot, a lot of times it's tough to get back defensively. You get buried down. That's exactly what happened with Ginobili. Kobe ran at him and just kept running, and nobody protected back on that one, Mike. That weak side guard has got to get back and protect the shooter.
The man on the offside of the floor, away from the shooter, he's got to protect his partner who's taking that jump shot. He's got to cover back.
Shaquille O'Neal will get a rest. Slava Medvedenko has come on. Rusho Nesterovic now replacing Tim Duncan. Duncan sits down, 1 of 4 from the field, 4 points. And 3 assists for Tim.
Marvin, we're seeing a drastic turnaround in field goal percentages. Now it's San Antonio who's shooting almost 56%, and it's the Lakers who are shooting 39% from the floor. Very unusual because the Lakers going into tonight's game shooting 49% against this San Antonio defense. That just doesn't happen.
Well, remember now in Game 3, the Lakers got some easy baskets in that first quarter. They got off to such a great start. And when they're scoring at a high efficiency, they get back and their defense is much better.
Parker now being played by Fisher. Nesterovic. This is Ginobili, guarded by Bryant. Good ball movement. Shot clock to 4. Nesterovic. Malone with the save to Bryant. Ginobili looking to slap it away.
That's a bad foul. You just picked up 1 on the transition game. You foul Kobe Bryant. Now you come out and foul him again. Mike, when you get to a certain point and he gives that post up, you got to release him a little bit and square him up and play him. Now you're giving Kobe a chance to go to the free throw line and get himself on track here at the free throw line. The clock stops. This helps the Lakers. Now they get their defense back.
Well, Ginobili is a gambler.
Yes.
That's what he is. And he was beaten that time on the flash post, so his instinct is gamble and try and strip Kobe the ball before he gets beaten on a post up.
Spurs now in the penalty. Green rush coming on for Gary Payton. Well, game 3 in the opening quarter. Shaq and Kobe combined for 19 points. And tonight O'Neal with 6. Bryant looking for his 8th point.
It'd be interesting to see if San Antonio tries to get into a quick 2-for-1 possession, about a 15-second differential in here. They like to run a side screen roll. Sometimes pop a guy back for a quick 3.
Parker lost his balance. Here's Parker open for 3 and just grazed the rim. Now a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Not a good possession because now 2 seconds is not enough time to get another possession, so they should have taken their time when they mishandled the ball.
Only thing would be if LA goes too soon. That's their only hope.
Here's Bryant. Horry, final seconds. Here's Bowen. And a foul, a blocking foul. It is on Malone, but it's a non-shooting affair. They had a foul to give.
Great point by Mike, though. Kobe went too soon, and now the Lakers are very fortunate they had a foul to give, but still with 1 second to go, you can get a quick catch and shoot here, but Kobe should have used the shot clock much better on that possession, giving San Antonio the last look at it.
Bowen will throw in. Nesterovic, after 1 here at Staples in LA. It is a 27-21 lead for San Antonio. Nets winning 94-79.
Wait a minute, Doug. What's all the talk about? It's only the end of the game that counts in the NBA. What about that first quarter?
That's that soapbox I'm always on. Everybody thinks it's a fourth quarter game. That first quarter dictates how you're going to play the rest of the game.
Nesterovic has that unusual release, but Rasho Nesterovic, who was very quiet the other night, comes up with his second field goal. And San Antonio 10 assists on 11 field goals, which is a good sign from the Spurs point of view. They now lead by 8. Here is Medvedenko.
Be very interesting. Look at this group that the Lakers have. You've got Shaq out there with Medvedenko, Fisher, Rush, and Devin George. I would think the Spurs would be very aggressive double-teaming Shaq and making him pass the ball with this group.
Where they're going to get this scoring from? That's the question. If it doesn't touch Shaq's hands, who's going to make it happen?
Nesterovic, he's feeling it at the offensive end.
Well, to me, is a direct message that's been sent to him after the last game, his last performance by Popovich. You see him coming out playing very aggressively and with a lot of confidence right now.
Rush putting the move on Devin Brown. Rebounded by Duncan.
If you're the Spurs right now, you got to make a little push. You got to continue to expand on this lead with Kobe Bryant on the bench right now and Karl Malone and Gary Payton.
Devin Brown, who played well the other day, gets it to Nesterovic. Kept alive by Duncan. Ginobili gives it right back. Medvedenko now defending on Duncan, who goes glass. Beautiful bank shot by Tim Duncan. Spurs have opened up a 10-point lead.
You saw another quick move. There's that rhythm Doug talked about earlier. Caught it, shot it off the glass right away. No hesitation.
Medvedenko got the roll. Slava Medvedenko's had an Achilles problem. He's been hobbled throughout this series. That's his first bucket. San Antonio leads by 8. And the call away from the ball. You saw Devin Brown hit the deck. Foul on the Lakers. It is on Medvedenko.
Tim Duncan anticipating that the double team may come. Catches Medvedenko. Quick look to see what's happening. One dribble, turn, off the glass right away.
And Mike, about that move also, too, normally your double team comes down from the top, so if you're Medvedenko, you got to take that shoulder away, make him turn to the middle so you can get some help.
He made him turn away from the potential double team.
Yes.
Duncan with the step, and he is fouled. Again, putting the move on Medvedenko. Hito Turkoglu has made his return, replacing Bruce Bowen. Medvedenko with his second foul.
See, Medvedenko does not have the strength to get into Tim Duncan like Karl Malone does. Karl Malone gets in there, he's got those strong hands. He's already stripping at you. If you try to back him down, he'll pull the chair on you. He's got all the tricks. Duncan knows that he can do whatever he wants to do against Medvedenko. They're going to have to come over and give him some help, Mike. Make him pass the basketball.
Tim Duncan, very quiet. Game 3 on Sunday, just 4 of 14. He had 10 points. He averaged 27 over the first 2 games, shot 65%. He is 2 for 3 at the line here tonight. Last game, San Antonio, just 12 for 22 at the foul line. As those of you following this series know, these are the 2 worst free throw shooting teams in the NBA, which is incredible when you consider the 2 of the better teams in the league. O'Neal with a nice drop step, cannot put it down.
But again, Marv, they're making him shoot jump shots. You're not seeing the layups and the dunks that he got when he was 11 for 13 in game 3.
Ginobili kept alive by Duncan. Nesterovic. Duncan is on it again. Here is Turkoglu. Duncan recaptures another opportunity for the Spurs.
He's looking for the double team here. He'll find it. You see, Devin Brown goes right back to where the defense is.
Nice pass, Ginobili from Duncan.
Devin George, as he went down, his head hit the back of someone's, or in front of someone's leg. The knee hit George in the back of the head. A little bit stunned as he got up that time.
This crowd getting anxious.
Well, you know, again, if Phil Jackson didn't know what to expect, can you imagine this crowd surely doesn't know what to expect?
O'Neal is fouled. It has been a tumultuous season for the Los Angeles Lakers. They opened up at 18-3. They fell off, but they finished strong. They won 14 of their last 17 games. Timeout called by the Lakers.
How about Dwayne Wade? 14 points in the 4th quarter, 25 for the game. They win. Now that's 2-1. Once again, the point guard seems to be the key.
Doug, this tells me, Doug, that it's the little men that dominate the game. There's no need for big men.
Doug, I must say, idle thoughts make more sense when you're part of it. He does need follow-up. How about Shaquille O'Neal hitting on both? And the Spurs now lead 33-25. Bryant knocks it away, comes up with a steal. So Bryant is back, Payton is back, Malone, George, and O'Neal up front. Lakers back to the starting lineup. They're down by 8. Shaq getting position and scores.
Well, Tony Parker did a very poor job reading the defense the last time down the floor. He tried to feed the post, and Kobe Bryant had never cleared through. He was just waiting in Duncan's lap to steal the basketball.
See Payton moving over to help on the double. Payton with the strip. Here comes Bryant. Ball on his back. Malone providing the screen, and Kobe slams it. Beautifully done as Karl Malone set it up for Kobe Bryant. The Spurs will talk it over.
It starts by playing good defense. You've got to give yourself some extra opportunities. Get a hand in, strip the big man of the ball. Suddenly you're out in transition, and it's tough for San Antonio to get its defense regrouped. Bryant finds the seam. Bryant with the finish.
Unanswered, and a now within 4.
A huge difference for the Lakers and for Tim Duncan when Slava Medvedenko comes out and Karl Malone comes in to play defense against Tim Duncan. First thing he does is he uses the arm bar to keep him off balance. Watch him drop forward all of a sudden. Then he pulls the chair out from under him. As he starts to dribble it, he loses his balance coming back, and that's what allows the guards to get their hands in and strip him. Watch, arm bar, knock him off balance. Now break contact. Now he stumbles backwards. That's when he gets stripped.
And when you look over at the turnover situation right now, Mike, it's been, the Lakers have been averaging 19 turnovers in this series. The Spurs 10 steals. Tonight the Spurs have no steals and the Lakers have no turnovers.
Chant of defense from this crowd here in Los Angeles as Parker is able to knock it down. That's his second field goal. He has 4. San Antonio up 35-29. Manu Ginobili getting set to check back in. Good play by Parker, not able to hang on though. Reached around to knock it away from Payton.
The one thing when you are the Lakers and you post Gary Payton, Mike, the one thing you have to be very careful about is when he gets buried on that baseline, if he doesn't score, that gives the Spurs an opportunity to get out and run, so they really have to protect when he gets down on that baseline.
Shot clock at 10. Bryant gets the step on Bowen. Kobe Bryant with 11 points. Spurs lead by 4. Parker, that's an air ball, and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Malone.
You know, Kobe Bryant is not even guarding Bruce Bowen. He's roaming. Bruce Bowen has got to get his feet set, and he's got to catch the ball and he's got to shoot. He's one of the better three-point shooters in the league. Right now, Kobe's not even guarding him.
Nice pass inside, and Payton was looking for some help as Parker was able to put it home. That's assist number 5 by Tim Duncan. Spurs lead 37-31, and a foul is called.
Sometimes it's important how many easy or cheap baskets you pick up during the course of the game. You see the man taking it out, throws it in. His man's not paying attention, so Parker steps right back in, out, back in, layup.
Foul on Parker.
That's all those short clock situations you work on as a coach. You practice those every day.
Payton backing. Shot clock down to 3. Bryant, yes.
Well, we've seen it all from Kobe here tonight. The left-handed floater over Duncan, the behind-the-back stop, pull back, shoot the jump shot. He is some spectacular player.
Kobe Bryant has scored the last 6 points for the Lakers. Ginobili for Nastarovich. What a pass by Manu Ginobili.
That was a great pass. It really was. He's buried under the backcourt. All those big bodies in front of him, yet he still found his teammate with a high percentage shot.
You see that white hair that Greg Popovich now has? Manu Ginobili is a big part of it.
And Payton is allowed to take it to the rim. Here comes Parker. Spurs back quickly. Parker lost it. And then a whistle. Ball was, well, apparently a foul was called. A pushing foul on Duncan. That's his second.
See, Mike, when I played, this would just be sort of a force-out play on, and you take the basketball. Now that has to be called a foul. The push by Duncan. Used to be they would just give the ball to the Lakers, and you'd play the other direction.
When Karl Malone was backing up on defense, he made a decision. He was not going to be the receiver. He was going to be the guy delivering the blow. So he became the aggressor on defense, got that hand in there, and knocked the ball free.
Bryant for O'Neal.
So that you're not seeing much of the triangle. You're seeing more screen roll, more dribble penetration from Kobe. Spurs struggle with that. They can pinch that triangle.
The other thing is they're using up so much time getting the ball up the court. That might be the reason why they've gotten away from the triangle. Takes a little more time to run.
Payton on the run. Malone. George. Not able to find the shot.
There's that screen roll again, Marv.
Bryant. We're down to 4.5 to play in this first half. They double up on Duncan, got it to Ginobili. Yes, and the foul. Shaquille O'Neal called for the foul. Manu Ginobili will head to the line.
This is an incredible basket by Ginobili. It's a pass and cut to the basket, a return by Duncan. He knows he's getting the contact, switches to his right hand, and still converts it off the glass.
We've seen Kobe with a spectacular left-handed move. Now Ginobili with the great play with the right hand does not finish the free throw attempt.
And the Spurs just 2 of 5 at the line. San Antonio 41, Los Angeles 37. Marv Albert, Lazar, Mike Fratello, Doug Collins, Craig Sager. We're at Staples in LA. Malone passing on that long-range shot. Payton with the shot clock running down. And back comes Parker.
Malone is a tough guy to have on the same side of the floor because he can't space out the defense the same way that Kobe Bryant or George could.
Starovich getting lots of open looks. As a result, we have seen 9 shot attempts.
Well, Shaq is just playing back in the lane. He's going to give Starovich that shot.
As Bryant spinning his way. It counts. And the foul. As this first half has progressed, Kobe Bryant has come on. He now has 15 points, and he is going to the line.
Doug, as you said, it starts with a pick and roll. This happens to come in transition, gives Kobe the opportunity to run Bowen off the screen, and then Kobe takes it from there.
Where does the energy come from? This guy, I mean, he's been amazing on days that he's had to travel back to and from Eagle, Colorado, Marv, this year. He had the game winner against Denver. He comes back against Sacramento, has a 36.9. In the closeout game against Houston, 31 points, maybe the best game he had in the playoffs. Now tonight, a spectacular first half. The energy level from Kobe has been amazing.
Bryant has hit 4 for 5 from the field. In the second quarter, the San Antonio lead is 1. Parker adds to it. Tony Parker with 8 points, and the Spurs now lead 43-40.
Popovich basically had to tell Tony Parker, you've got to shoot it if you're open.
Bryant with the opportunity, came up short. Nice play by Malone, reaching in, knocking it away. It'll be San Antonio ball. Spurs now with Malik Rose on the floor for the first time. He played 15 minutes on Sunday. That's the first action that he has seen in this series. Starovich again. He's now 3 for 10. Rose in a battle with Malone. And the foul is called. It's on Malone. That's his first. Timeout with just under 3 to go. Well, the usual star-studded crowd here at Staples. Jack, a regular at courtside. Ice Cube on hand. Adam Sandler. Ashton Kutcher. And Denzel Washington. For more on Denzel, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Marv, we associate Denzel with the Lakers. He's had courtside seats since way back in the championship days of the Fordham. Part of his roots for the Spurs because of this man, P.J. Carlesimo. That was his college coach at Fordham. Fordham sub-varsity. I talked to PJ and he said, you know what? Denzel is a much better player than people think. I talked to Denzel. He said he had a lot of fun playing basketball. He said it's always been my first love. But as for PJ, he says he was a great coach, a great guy, and I think it's time he got another job as a head coach in the NBA.
Denzel coming out for his one-time coach. PJ says that Denzel was a shooting guard. We needed screens.
In other words, he was slow? Is that what he was saying?
Look out, tripping foul on Payton.
Marv, I think one of the interesting stats tonight, the Lakers have been averaging 19 turnovers against the Spurs. The Spurs averaging almost 10 steals. That's one of the things they've been able to do to get into the running game. Again, tonight, the Lakers have no turnovers, and the Spurs have no steals. Now, the Spurs still lead by 3. But the Lakers are not forcing any turnovers right now. That's sort of amazing to me. The Lakers have done a great job, Mike, of taking care of the basketball.
Lakers in the penalty. Manu Ginobili has had an outstanding first half. That's point number 12. Spurs have led by as many as 11. They lead by 5. Light pressure being shown here by San Antonio.
It's interesting. Malik Rose is now in the game. We got a quick look at Robert Horry. Now it looks like Pop is going to Malik Rose.
Malik, a forgotten man over the first 2 games. Played 15 minutes in game 3 on Sunday. And a loose ball foul. It is on the Lakers. Once again, San Antonio will go to the line. That's on Bryant, his second.
I'll give you one other number that's kind of going along with what you said. No turnovers for the Lakers. How about no block shots? After having 9 last game, 8 of them by Shaquille O'Neal. They've got no blocks right now to affect the field goal percentage of San Antonio. San Antonio is shooting over 47%.
Reminder coming up on the Verizon Wireless halftime report from our studios in Atlanta. EJ, Kenny, Charles, and the Magic with a look back at this first half recap of the Pistons and the Nets. New Jersey tying the series at 2 at the Meadowlands, able to beat the Pistons 94-79. How about Jason Kidd? Triple-double, 22 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds.
Well, that's not good news for Detroit. He had been really struggling from the field, so if Jason Kidd gets his offensive going, his game going at all, they could find a way to get a game in the Palace.
Nice give and go as Malone on the hop was able to find George, and a foul is called. Foul on Turkoglu, that's his third.
You know, Mark, one of the things when you coach in this league, and Mike did it so well for so many years, but you always look at end of quarters, end of halves, the runs. And right now, the Spurs have created a little space. The Lakers made a nice little push at them. I think it's important for the Lakers here not let the Spurs to get away from them, because the Spurs have struggled a little bit in the third quarter. You don't want to give them any cushion to play with if they go through one of those little third period droughts, Mike, that we've seen in the first couple games.
I can remember, Doug, the great Celtic teams that right before halftime, it seemed like they always outscored you 12-2, 10-zip, and went in with this, lead that once was 4 points, suddenly 14 points.
And it's, you play even with it for 10 minutes, they beat you for 2, and you think you've played well, and you look up and you're down double digits.
Spurs have a 6-point lead as we come up on 2 minutes to play in the first half. Parker, yes, tough angle shot for Tony Parker, who has bounced back. He has 10 points.
And that's what Popovich told him. If they're going to keep going underneath the screens, you can't keep driving it in the lane. Sometimes you just have to stop and shoot the ball. That's what he's doing.
Malone had it knocked away by Rose. Here's Kevin Brown. Kobe Bryant is back. Duncan from Brown. The Spurs lead by 10. A 10-1 run for San Antonio.
You called it, Doug. Here it is, the little spurt right before the half. Suddenly, what looked like a 2-3 point game is back to 10 right away for San Antonio.
O'Neal. And that is a traveling violation. Played very well by Duncan.
Well, Duncan is one of the better defensive big men in the league. Now, obviously, you're playing against the power of Shaq. The one thing you've got to do is stay down. Doesn't go for the fake. And again, Shaq is not getting layups and dunks right now. He's having to work for his plays, Mike. He's not laying the ball in and dunking it. As a result, he's working harder. The Spurs doing a much better job.
Only the second turnover committed by the Lakers. Parker met on the switch by Malone. And Tony Parker takes a timeout.
Got to keep that dribble alive. It's a 20-second timeout. You got to keep that dribble alive. They switched out with Malone. Parker tried to pick the dribble up to find the mismatch, and then Malone just closed down on top of it.
Well, game 5 of this best of 7 will take place back in San Antonio on Thursday night. The Lakers are hoping they will head to the River City tied at 2. Spurs looking tonight to extend to a 3-1 lead. And then game 6, if necessary, will be played here in Los Angeles on Saturday night.
Well, last year at this time, it was a similar situation, 2-1. The Spurs got a big lead in game 4. The Lakers came back to win. Went to game 5. You see Peter Holt, the owner of the San Antonio Spurs. It's great to see him, and what a wonderful job he's done with that franchise. But Marv, you go back to game 5. Remember, you and the Czar called it. Ori shots in the air. If it goes in, the Lakers are up 3-2. He misses it. The Spurs go up 3-2. They come back and win here in 6. So this series very similar to last year's.
Down to a minute remaining in the first half. Parker again met on the switch, met by Malone, trying to split his way through, and it's last touch by the Lakers.
It almost is like the Lakers are giving up now, trying to stop this guy without switching. So you're winding up with Karl Malone on Tony Parker, and then Parker looks at Malone and says, I'm going right by you down the lane.
That's why you got to keep your spacing.
Down to 3 on the shot clock. Parker looking. Broken up by Bryant. Bryant met by Brown, and he is fouled. Both clubs are in the penalty, so Kobe will shoot two.
You know, Turkoglu got off to a great start, Marv, in the first quarter. Had a big first quarter with 11 points. Shot the ball exceptionally well. He was 3 of 4 from the three-point line. We have not seen him here in this second period. We're seeing Devin Brown, and he's out on the floor right now to play against Kobe Bryant. They like to match him up against Bryant if they don't have Bruce Bowen on him. They can also use Ginobili, but Ginobili's got 2 fouls, so they need Devin Brown for his defense against Kobe Bryant.
What happened is Turkoglu got off to a good start, like you said, and then when you substitute and bring somebody in, and he did pick up his 3rd personal foul, when you bring somebody else in who then has a good game also, like Ginobili goes 4 for 6, then you're kind of hesitant to go back to the first guy. One, he's got fouls, so you want to rest him for the second half so he doesn't pick up a 4th. Then you got another guy going good, so ride that guy for a while.
And it's going to be important for Turkoglu to come out and get a big warm-up in the 3rd quarter to come out and give him the kind of 3rd quarter that he got them off to in the 1st quarter. He's been sitting a long time.
Laker offense has been Kobe Bryant. He's the high man with 18. He scored 11 of the last 16 points for Los Angeles. Down to a half minute remaining. In this first half, see Duncan checking the clock. His shot blocked by O'Neal. Kept alive by Ginobili. He is so quick to the ball.
How about the 2 plays he made at the free throw line at the end of game 2 where he came up with offensive rebounds by knocking the ball loose that got his team extra possessions that helped them close out game 2.
You said he's a riverboat gambler. That's what he's all about. He plays with reckless abandon. He tries to make things happen when he's on the floor.
A riverboat gambler. Final seconds of this first half. Bryant trying to put moves on Brown, who's not going for it. Bryant has to fire. What a terrific defensive play by Devin Brown. Kobe was not able to find the shot. He thought he was fouled. The Lakers without a field goal the last 3.5 minutes of this first half.
Great job here by Devin Brown. It looked like Kobe was going to get him up in the air. Very strong finish, Marv, as you talked about. And the Spurs have to feel very good. They ran out of this building in game 3. They've come in, they've maintained their poise, and they've executed very nicely here tonight. Right back in the game.
All right, just about set to start this second half. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, no passionate halftime speech by Phil Jackson. Basically, he told the team, hey, we got to get out there. We have to play hard. Our defense has to be a lot better. Look at our stats. Second chance points, 10-1. Offensive rebounds, we have only 1 offensive rebound. We have to be more active like we were in game 3.
All right, Craig, we're seeing pressure defense here by the Lakers. And Bennett Salvatore calling an official timeout. And apparently felt that a couple of cameramen were a little too close to the court.
Well, again, Mark, when we saw, and Mike, we saw in the first quarter, the Lakers came out with a surge of energy, and they had an 8-2 lead, and the Spurs took their time. They took a timeout and regained their poise. Let's see if they can withstand a little bit of this push here the Lakers are going to try to make.
Here is Parker, rebounded by Payton. So Gary Payton at the point. Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, Shaquille O'Neal, Devin George on the floor. Shaq is fouled from behind.
Well, it's not even close to resembling the energy tonight from the Lakers that there was in the beginning of the last game. This crowd is just sitting here waiting for the Lakers to show them the passion that they did in that first game. The fact that this game is a big game and it does mean something to them. That's what this crowd wants to see.
And that was foul number 3 on Tim Duncan.
Well, Marv, that's why I think it was so important, and Mike, that the Spurs got off to a good first quarter. They did not dig themselves a hole. They took away some of that Laker bravado that they built up in game 3. You know, the Lakers are a little bit fragile. You know, their confidence sort of comes and goes, and I think the Spurs, by winning that first quarter, really helped themselves.
Lane violation on San Antonio, so Shaq will shoot again. He is 4 of 7 at the line.
Doug, let me ask you this. Is there any correlation between age and energy?
Oh, no question. You know, no question. And what's going to happen is, you know, in this second round, the games become, they jump on top of you quicker. You got a day in between and another game, and the younger, quicker team has the advantage in that, especially now the Spurs have the home court.
Bowen with the step. Rebounded by George.
It almost seems like The only two guys that got anything done at all for the Lakers in the first half, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Devin George is like he's not even out on the floor for them.
Oh, nice move. Well, Gary Payton now has 8 points. And Payton able to turn it. The other day, game 3, 15 points, 7 assists, outplayed Tony Parker after Parker played so well over the first 2 games. Nesterovic this time passing up on the shot and then threw it away.
Well, he hit his first 2 of 3 and then shot 1 of 7. You saw the hesitation right there. You know, you're better off to at least get a shot up at the basket. Craig Sager talked about the 10-1 differential on offensive rebounding. You know, get the shot at the basket.
That's an offensive foul on Payton.
And I would say that's an easy call. Gary Payton basically just tried to run right over the top of Tony Parker. Hits him with his elbow as he turns around right there. Parker in good position, absorbs the blow, goes down.
Number 3 on Payton. Of the big game on Sunday, a day after he had expressed frustration and anger with teammates, the coaching staff, the media, and then responded with his best game of the playoffs. But Parker has come back strong here tonight. Turkoglu passed on the 3, rebounded by Nesterovic, pops it out. Nesterovic, yes.
And they gave it right back to him again on the baseline. He had no choice that time. He was so open, he had to shoot it and makes it.
That's now 12-1 second chance points. The Lakers getting beaten to the ball on the offensive glass.
Nesterovic now 4 of 11. He has 8 points. Shot clock down to 5. Bryant slips it back to Malone. Did not expect the pass. Down to 2. Down to 1. Bryant, yes! That's a 2-pointer. He had a foot on the line. Kobe Bryant just did get it off in time.
Incredible shot that time. Clock running down, off balance, fading away, and makes it.
Parker wide open. Rebounded by Malone. Lost it momentarily. And here comes Payton. Two and a half gone by in the third. Spurs up by 7. Bryant. Nice fake. Draws the foul. It counts, and he'll head to the line.
Is there a better guy in the league that uses the shot fake than Kobe Bryant? Watch this when he goes to the basket. Watch how he uses the ball to get Bowen up. Look at the shot fake. That's not a head fake, that's a shot fake. And Bowen bites on that, and then the up and under. And right now, Mike, what you talked about, the energy of Kobe Bryant is keeping his team in this game right now.
And you would think of all people, as far as energy goes, he might be the guy that's running a little bit low right now on gas.
Kobe has 22 points. Lakers now within 5. Manu Ginobili back on the floor, played by Devin George. Turkoglu for 3, kept alive by Ginobili. Parker, and that pass thrown off the mark.
Tough to catch it when it's in your shoelaces. That's a tough one right there.
Well, if you want to get a low percentage shot, throw a bad pass. Mike, how about you talk that into your team? A good pass leads to a good shot. A bad pass leads to a low percentage shot or a turnover.
Make him a good shooter. That's what we used to tell him. When you pass the ball, make him a good shooter.
Bryant off the head fake. George for 3. Rebounded by O'Neal. And Ginobili pushes it down. Picked off by Bryant. It's a 2-on-1. Nesterovic back. Pass too strong for O'Neal. And here come the Spurs. 3-on-2 the other way, and a foul up high. Called on Devin George, just looking to stop that San Antonio fast break.
Good foul that time. They had numbers 3-on-2. He was either going to give up a layup or a 3-point shot. He took the foul.
Oh, Kobe trying to find Shaq. Shaq running so hard. Pass in traffic. He does a nice job getting back, and Shaq just cannot catch the pass.
Well, see, it wouldn't have gone to Shaq. It would have gone to Payton if he could have found the handle. He couldn't find the handle, and that allowed the extra time where Shaq got involved.
Duncan, yes. Tim Duncan, 8 points, 8 rebounds, and how about this? 8 assists.
You watch him shoot that jump shot, and there's no way you say that guy shouldn't be an 80% free throw shooter.
And a blocking foul is called. Maybe he should take jump shots.
Well, Hal Greer,
right?
go back to being, I mean, Hal Greer shot jump shots throughout his career. But I think what happens is the more Tim sits and stands at the line, the more all these thought processes go through him. And when he just goes up and shoots it, that looks awfully nice.
Foul on Ginobili. He has 3. And Payton posting up. Well, you talked earlier about the fact that the Lakers have gone away from the triangle for a good portion of this game. Is that to accommodate Payton and Bryant?
I think part of it was a willingness by Phil Jackson to try and accommodate him as far as where he was used to playing for so many years and effective. At the same time, with the pressure being extended, with them taking more time, the Lakers, to get it down the floor. Triangle's a lot of passing and cutting and swinging the ball to the other side of the floor. They may not have had enough time left.
And that is a 5-second violation. Devin George was not able to find anyone.
A little interaction here between Devin George and Gary Payton. One not happy that the other didn't cut. The other saying he should have passed it right away. Not happy with each other.
Well, this is where you got to pull together, not apart. This is where you're under the gun right now. You don't win tonight, you're not going to beat the Spurs 3 games in a row. This is a must game for the Lakers.
And this on a day that saw Derek Fisher say that prior to game 3, as Turkoglu unleashes from downtown, rebounded by O'Neal, Fisher had said, we had a men fences prior to game 3 on Sunday as Malone had to knock it down. So there was a closed door meeting. There was no screaming, he said. We just had to talk and sort it out. 5-point San Antonio lead. Duncan tried to go blast, did not have the proper angle, and a loose ball foul on the Lakers. Second on Shaq.
And I think what Tim Duncan is talking to Tommy Washington right now is how much is a push and how much can he get away with, but he's leaning on him here, and what's a foul and what's not. He's reaching in, and that the post play is so difficult to referee. Mike, you guys were in Detroit or New Jersey the other night. That was a tough game.
Beautiful setup. Parker to Nesterovic. Spurs now lead by 7.
When the postman is using multiple dribbles, backing his man down, it's so hard for the official to draw that line between what's a foul by the defender and what's an offensive foul by the guy moving the defender out of his spot. It's a difficult call. These are big bodies out here.
O'Neal trying to squeeze his way. Loose ball foul. It is on Payton. Now check that. It's on Brown. Devin Brown with his second.
He got that arm out there and grabbed Payton around the neck as they were all scrambling for the loose ball. Foul called on Brown.
Well, Tim Duncan tried to tip the ball out of the scrum there to his teammate, and they sort of ran away from it. The ball dropped loose, and Payton tried to pick it up.
San Antonio with their 4th team foul. Los Angeles with 2. Malone able to get it down low. Shaquille O'Neal with excellent position. When he's that low, you're not going to stop.
Well, he makes that little banana cut in the lane, and when he gets that shoulder on top of you, you're in trouble. And Malone is a great passer in there.
Devin Brown. Brown coming off a strong game, but yet to attempt a shot here tonight. Now Parker open for 3. Rebounded by Duncan and then slapped away. Last touch by the Lakers. It'll be San Antonio ball, but first a timeout. Just under 6 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. Spurs lead by 5.
Jump shot. Kobe Bryant playing defense. Here's Parker taking the shot right there at this particular moment. Watch him reach down and grab his ankle so he stops Kobe from running out other end of the floor. Kobe trying to break free. Fortunately for Parker, the ball goes out.
Can't do that. What's going on here?
I tell you, I would not want the czar on my games. The referee, you couldn't get away with anything. Kobe having a little fun there with Tony Parker. 2 great competitors. Kobe's got a lot of respect for Tony Parker. He's a young player, and Kobe understands what it's like to come in this league as a young player, and he's really respects the improvement and development Tony Parker's made at that position.
Tony only 21. He'll be 22 in a week. Born in Belgium, grew up in Paris, along with the rebound on that miss by Turkoglu. Coming up on 5.5 remaining in the third, and the Spurs lead the Lakers 59-54. O'Neal working on Nesterovic. 17 points for Shaq.
They flash Kobe Bryant to the strong side of the floor as if they're going to play triangle over there. Reverse the ball, get Shaq alone on the weak side for a little ducking pass.
It is a 3-point game. Duncan is fouled. Fouled by O'Neal.
Marv, I talked about at the end of the half the importance for the Spurs to get a little bit of a cushion. They were up 10 at half. The lead now has been cut to 3. But the Spurs only have 6 points, and we played almost 7 minutes in this period. And for whatever reason, Mike, we've seen now in 3 games that the Spurs have come out and really struggled on the offensive end of the floor in the third quarter.
As you search for reasons, can you come up with any?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any big adjustments that the Lakers have made. I think what I have seen is the Spurs. We've seen Turkoglu miss a wide open 3. Parker's missed a couple open shots. So I think the shots have been there for them. They haven't made them. That's why they call on their defense in these kind of moments, not to let the Lakers make some kind of big surge to take the lead.
You see Phil Jackson substitute. George goes to the bench. Rush comes in on the floor, and I think Phil is searching for someone other than O'Neal and Bryant that can make a shot, get something going offensively. He's concerned, I think, about how many minutes he's going to have to go with these starters in the second half.
Great Rush, second-year man out of Missouri. Bryant fires. 24 points for Kobe Bryant. He's 8 of 15 from the field. It's a 61-58.
Again, that screen roll there, Marv, with Karl Malone and Kobe Bryant. That's a potent weapon.
Duncan, rebounded by Bryant. He's met by Devin Brown. O'Neal battling for position. Shaq was triple teamed. Now Payton with the finger roll, the tip by Malone.
When you close down on Gary Payton, you got to make him a jump shooter. You can't run at him. He's struggling with that outside shot. And Mike, if you're going to close out him, get on that right hand and make him go back to his left.
It's a 1-point lead. Parker rebounded by O'Neal. Here comes Payton. Lakers can take the lead. O'Neal, yes, and the foul. It's the first lead for the Lakers since back in the first quarter when they were up 13-11.
They're getting themselves in transition opportunities, which allow Payton this time to find Shaq right in the middle of the lane. Goes up, uses glass, gets fouled. Opportunity now to complete the 3-point play. And there now is some energy back in the Laker bench, on the bench, guys on the floor. They all kind of back into it right now.
Foul on Nesterovic. O'Neal is 5 of 8 at the line.
The Lakers are a team, when they score and they play well offensively, it inspires them to play well defensively. When they struggle a little bit offensively, it affects them on the defensive end.
And again, a lane violation. You know, Shaq has that very tricky motion. And as a result, reminds me of watching the Harlem Globetrotters where a guy would fake the free throw.
Or have the string and pull it back.
It's the second lane violation when Shaq's been on the line.
That was Malik Rose that time, too soon. Lost him a point. There it is.
And that's the second time that he's been able to convert when given the extra shot. So the Lakers lead 63-61. 3.5 to play. Third quarter. Open shot for Parker from downtown.
You can't rotate to Malik Rose out on the perimeter. You got to fake at him and make the other guy come back to get him and stay with Tony Parker. You'll live with Malik Rose taking that shot. You don't want to give Tony Parker an open 3.
Spurs up by 1. That ends at 11-2. Lakers Spurs. O'Neal over Nesterovic. Then another solid performance by Shaquille O'Neal. 22 points, 7 rebounds. Lakers back to the 1-point lead. Here's Brown. He was double teamed, rebounded by O'Neal. Now Payton on the run, met by Parker. Payton had to give it up. Bryant, O'Neal. Lakers swinging the ball effectively. Bryant for O'Neal, and a foul.
See, Kobe knew that Shaq was heading to the glass. When he got himself elevated and got in trouble, what he did is basically left it up there for the big man to go get. Shaq tried to catch it and complete it, but he's fouled.
San Antonio in the penalty. During the timeout break just a moment ago, Greg Popovich was hit with a technical foul by the official, Bennett Salvatore.
Pop trying to make his point that he's got hit across the arm. Bennett Salvatore hears enough. Finally, he says, okay, get back off the court. If you don't want to get off the court, there's the technical foul.
2:37 remaining in the third. The Lakers come on in this third quarter. They now lead 65-64, and Kobe Bryant will go to the line to shoot the technical.
Mark, Doug mentioned earlier the dominance of LA in the third quarters of this series. In game 1, a plus 11 for the Lakers. Game 2, plus 11 for the Lakers. Game 3, plus 7. And here we are in game 4, plus 12 in the third quarter for the Lakers. So for some reason, the Lakers come out at halftime better prepared to get going, get themselves going in the game.
You can see their offensive efficiency, Mike. Again, when they play well on offense, it dictates to how well they play on defense. Spurs only 4-15. The good thing for them is they had built a little bit of a cushion in the first half, so they're still very much in this game. They only trail by 2 points.
And let's face it, Duncan has been on the bench during this stretch that LA has come back, so now Duncan is reinserted back in the game again.
Shaquille O'Neal now 7 of 10 at the free throw line, which is on fire for Shaq. Hitting his free throws.
Well, he and Kobe Bryant already have 49 points in the game tonight. Duncan and Parker have 25. So the 2 Lakers stars have taken this game over right now.
It was 55-46 San Antonio when Bryant hit that incredible jumper as the shot clock expired. Ginobili gets inside. And since that shot by Kobe, things have turned. Lakers now lead 68-66.
But I think you have to get up on that dribble handoff stuff, treat it almost like it's a pick and roll, and get up there with the big guy to trap him, because you cannot let him just turn the corner that way, go to the basket for uncontested layups.
Rick Popovich staying with Devin Brown, defending on Kobe Bryant. Bryant beats him off the dribble. Here's O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal on the follow.
Well, Shaq is possessed right now. I thought he was sluggish in the first half. It appears to me that he's starting to get more into this game, like he is now starting to get his legs back.
Well, 14 of his 26 have come here in the third. Lakers have a 4-point lead. And a defensive 3-second violation is called.
And there was Karl Malone getting up on that outside handoff, pick and roll type of situation. He got up real high on that one, so the offensive player never had a chance to turn the corner.
Manu Ginobili will shoot the technical. He's 2 of 3 at the line.
I think one of the things also that starts to factor in the fourth quarter is Shaquille's free throw shooting. In this series, he was 11 for 31 tonight, 8 of 11. So he's going to be comfortable in the fourth quarter if they start fouling him.
Reach in is called on Rush. Lakers' 4th team foul. Spurs have been over the limit for some time.
But the important thing again, I mean, Shaq has taken 11 free throws, Kobe 11. Those 2 guys have taken 22 of the 24 Laker free throws.
Minute and a half remaining in the third. Parker rebounded by O'Neal.
And we have seen no Robert Horry since that little 5-minute spurt in the first half. I thought that he would be a big factor in this series, Mike, and I think they're going to need him, but he has got to play with some assertiveness.
He's a shot maker. He's a shot maker, yet he's capable of doing more than just making shots.
Here's Payton for 3. Rose on the rebound. Parker with the change of direction and met by Malone on the switch. Here's the mismatch. Well, Shaq able to recover on Duncan, and pass play was broken up.
Kobe is not even playing on the weak side of the floor. He's down in a position, and now with no illegal defense, all you have to do is be able to touch another offensive player. He's almost all the way on the other side of the floor. He's not even respecting the weak side. The Spurs have got to be able to swing that ball better.
Derek Fisher back. Gary Payton sits down. Payton 8 points, 5 assists. Ginobili try to go glass. Good play by Fisher, and he's fouled by Parker.
That's one of those fouls that it happens because of happenstance. Two guys going for a loose ball. They collide into each other. Parker that time charged with the foul as Fisher's trying to break out on the fast break. There's the collision. You've got to call something. Foul's on Parker. There you go once again, and Parker winds up getting hit in the mouth at the same time. So not only did he get a foul, got a fat lip at the same time.
Derek Fisher, 80% free throw shooter. Lakers lead 71-67. Lakers sparked by the combination of Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq with 26 points, 10 rebounds. Bryant, 25 points.
When we spoke to Greg Popovich before the game, he said, I want Duncan to get 25 shots tonight. Well, he's only got 11. So, I mean, the Lakers are doing a nice job taking his offense away and not allowing him to get shots.
And he was hoping that Duncan would get off to the quick start. He wanted to get those shots off early, coming off what took place the other night where he was kept in check. Foul is called on Fisher, puts the Lakers in the penalty.
Sometimes you got to get a technical. As a coach, they wonder why you get upset with the officials. Well, Popovich got the technical foul, and on that drive, a little touch foul, the free throw disparity. 26 free throw attempts for the Lakers, only 12 for the Spurs.
But tonight, both teams done a nice job at the foul line. Duncan now 5 for 7. Spurs 10 for 13.
I think both teams took it as a challenge. You've been critical of their free throw shooting, Marv, and obviously they've heard about it.
I have a way of inspiring better free throw shooting. Down to a half minute remaining here in the third.
And inspiring your analysts as well, Marv. We got to give you a lot of credit here.
1 of 2 is not bad. I'm not referring to the czar. 72-69, Lakers. Nice backdoor pass from Malone, and Bryant is able to score. Karl Malone, who had 5 assists the other day, once again with a number of excellent setups. In fact, that's his 6th assist tonight. Down to 10 seconds left in the third. Parker, Fisher is trying to draw the foul. O'Neal with the rebound. Here's shot from center court. After 3, Lakers 74, Spurs 69. Shaquille O'Neal, 14 of his 26.
Spurs right now is that they had built a 10-point cushion, so they're still only down 5. They're very much within striking distance, but they have got to be able to buckle up their defense, and offensively, they've got to get some kind of efficiency, Marv, here that we saw in the first half when they shot 49%.
Phil Jackson making some changes here. Start the third quarter as Kareem Rush, he has Slava Medvedenko. Pressure again by San Antonio. This time the Lakers get it across. Bryant. Rebound is put home. Nice tip by Medvedenko. Lakers by 7. It's their biggest lead of the night.
That's one of the reasons why Phil Jackson has Kobe Bryant at half court, so they can attack against that pressure.
Foul is called. It's Fisher for the hold on Ginobili as he flashed down low. This is the second of our TNT playoff doubleheader. Earlier this evening at the New Jersey Meadowlands, Nets tied the series at 2. They defeated the Pistons 94-79. Triple-double for Jason Kidd, 22 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. Good look from Ginobili to find Rose. Lakers lead 76-71.
That was a great pass because he got up in the air, Ginobili. He caught the defensive man starting to rotate over. He looked one way and threw it the other way.
Blake Rose with his first field goal.
Can the Spurs make a push with Shaq getting a rest?
Shaq Shaq had the huge third quarter. Bryant met by Duncan. Here's Malone. And it's over the top of the backboard, out of bounds.
Again, what we're seeing a lot of the Lakers side is that screen roll between Kobe and Karl Malone. Karl Malone, one of the best screen roll men ever with John Stockton, and Kobe, a brilliant screen roll player. The difference is he can come off those screens and he looks to score more than a Stockton did.
Ginobili. Oh, what a move to the reverse. And Manu Ginobili with 19 points.
No shot blocking in right now for the Lakers. If you're the Spurs, keep going to the front of the rim. You don't want to shoot jump shots with Shaq out of the game.
Lakers lead by 3. Here comes O'Neal as Duncan is able to come up with a steal and a tie-up. Kobe Bryant right back to tie up Manu Ginobili.
See, Kobe's a little bit like Ginobili, too. He's laying back there and coming in from the blind side on Ginobili. Ginobili thinks he's got a clear pass, sort of relaxes, and Kobe works in against his vision. He comes in from the blind side. That could be a big play. You'd expect Kobe to get this jump ball, and it allows Shaq to get back into the game. Phil's seen enough. He wants Shaq back on the floor.
I was just going to say, how long can you keep him sitting on the bench? Obviously, not very long.
Karl Malone sits down as O'Neal makes his return. And the tip controlled by the Lakers.
You got Malik Rose playing Shaq, and he's got the advantage there, so he's going to try to work him to get him off the block.
Here's the lob, and Shaq is able to put it down.
Doesn't have enough size. You can't play against him. That's why you need an Esterovich, you need an Ori, you need one of those big guys to be able to play. Malik Rose is so undersized, Mike.
Look, they got away with it that time, but still, not a high percentage pass from that far out beyond the three-point line. Gives the defense too much time to rotate.
Rose sets the pick for Turkoglu. Here's Rose. Not a good shot. Handled by Bryant.
You're being kind.
Medvedenko wide open. Lakers up 78-73. 2.5 gone by in the fourth. Ginobili.
Where is Tim Duncan? He's not getting any touches, Mike. They're totally going away from him.
Duncan only 11 shots. He's 4 for 11. Here's the drop step. O'Neal with the rebound and a foul. Shaq has taken over. It has been a dominating second half. Rose on the foul is first, and now here comes Esterovich for the 6'7" Malik Rose.
Well, it was to the point where if they could just get Shaq to touch the ball in the purple painted area, he was going to just get it over the top of Malik Rose, so they had to come back and get a little more size on it.
Owen coming over to help, along with Turkoglu. Bryant for 3.
That's too good. That is too good.
A difficult angle shot for Kobe Bryant from downtown. The Spurs take a timeout. Lakers with their biggest lead of the game.
When they are right, they're still the best 1-2 punch in the game. The most dominant inside player, the best perimeter player. They got it going tonight. They lead by 8.
All right, now there is Giuliano Margulies and Dylan McDermott, best known for his work in the practice. Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and there's Bill Walton. Sneaking into the shot for exposure. Yes.
There's my soccer gals. I got them on screen. Julie Foudy, Mia Hand, Mrs. Garcia Perro, and Christine Lilly. 3 great sports fans. It's good to see them there tonight.
Now this crowd reacting to the Lakers, who have taken an 81-73 lead, 8:47 remaining. In this fourth quarter, Phil Jackson staying with Slava Medvedenko, Derek Fisher. Now Devin George comes out, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, who have been brilliant. Shaq coming on in the second half. Tim Duncan, very quiet in the second half. They're trying to get him involved. Duncan, way off.
The Lakers were being out-rebounded by 10 at half. They now are +1 rebounding. That's +11 rebounds here in the second half. The aggressiveness, all LA.
Bryant met by Bowen. Kobe with the step. And scores! Oh, what a shot! A circus attempt by Kobe Bryant.
You know what he does? He dispirits you. He reminds me so much of Michael, as we've seen Nastarovich with a little jump shot. But Mike, he makes shots against the clock, against great defense, in pressure. And it just sort of like takes the air out of you when you're the defensive team.
You think you're doing a good job, as Fisher comes down, sees himself wide open at the foul line, pulls up and hits that jumper.
Bryant has 32 points. Lakers by 10. Looking to tie the series at 2. The scene will shift back to San Antonio on Thursday night. Bodies falling all over the floor. Parker from downtown.
You know what happened there? They stopped him once, they stopped him twice, they stopped him a third time, then they fell asleep just for a second. He stepped back behind the three-point line, and he hits a three.
Well, again, Kobe Bryant was playing the three-point shooter in the corner. He was all the way in the lane. He's not even guarding the guy off the ball.
Medvedenko to the reverse, and a foul. Slava Medvedenko will go to the line. Foul on Nastarovich, that is his third. Eric Payton returns, replacing Eric Fisher. Fisher 4 points. But the story tonight, the combination of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, they have lifted the Lakers, who trailed by as many as 11. And for Kobe Bryant, on a day that saw him enter that formal plea in Eagle, Colorado, in his sexual assault case, made it here to Staples just before 5:30. It's the 4th time that he's played on the same day that he's had a court hearing in Colorado. As it turns out, he has played exceptionally well all 4 times. Parker is fouled.
Doug, I find this one thing jumping out at me statistically. During the regular season, San Antonio, #1 in the NBA in opponents' field goal percentage. They hold teams to just under 41%. Yet coming into tonight, first 3 games, the Lakers were shooting 49%. Tonight, they're shooting 51%. Why is it that the Lakers suddenly are able to shoot a high field goal percentage against the San Antonio defense?
Well, they can break you down. Kobe can play screen roll. They can roll you to the basket. They can throw the ball inside to Shaq, who's shooting a high percentage. So they can attack you in areas. And when these guys are on, you can't defend them. And when you, again, with the Lakers, they're shooting such a high percentage in the second half, it's elevated their defense. So it just made them that much tougher.
Here's Bryant with the step, and he is fouled.
And that's my point right there, Mike. I mean, he's playing against terrific defense, and he finds a way to tightrope on that baseline, somehow get to the basket, and have the wherewithal to get the shot to the rim to get 2 free throws.
Talk about squeezing the baseline. Here it is, a little bit of room to turn that corner against Ginobili. Here comes the next big man, and then go up, draw contact, go to the line.
That was number 4 on Ginobili. Bryant 9 of 12 at the line. He has 33 points. Talking about the excellent play of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant in this second half. How about Tim Duncan without a field goal the last 13 minutes?
That's a major concern. I mean, he was averaging 25 a game in San Antonio. He and Parker had combined for 50 in the first 2 games. Another turnover. Tonight they have combined for 32. So the Lakers have really shut those 2 guys down. They've limited Duncan's field goal attempts. He only has taken 12 shots. They've kept Parker out of the lane. He has 18. But it's really dismantled this Spurs team. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how they're going to get Duncan back involved, Mike.
No question. For some reason, they have lost sight of the fact that that's the guy they played off for so long, and they've gotten away from their strength.
Payton coming up short, handled by Turkoglu. Turkoglu stopped by George. Ginobili. And Turkoglu for three. Yes. Hedo Turkoglu with 16 points. That's his fourth from downtown, and the Spurs are within 6.
Which is a two-possession game. So with all the said and all the greatness of the Lakers right now, the Spurs are right there, and they've won 2 close games in San Antonio. Can they get another one tonight?
Bryant spinning his way on Ginobili, going glass. 36 points. What an array of shots we're seeing tonight from Kobe Bryant.
And that's the thing. He's done it every way. He's done it lefty. He's hit three-pointers. He's gotten down inside the low post area. That time, a little glass.
Foul is called on Payton. That is his fourth, and a timeout taken.
Let me just create something special here. Duncan's coming over. I'll just get it up over your arm and bank it off the box.
Being out-rebounded by 10, and they're shooting 60%, which means now they score, they get back, and they can load up their defense. There is no transition game for the Spurs. They have to play a half-court game. The Lakers have locked into them, and in the half-court, they have stopped them, Mike.
San Antonio ball as we resume. Duncan played by O'Neal. He's fouled. Tim Duncan will go to the line to shoot 2.
Robert Horry on the floor right now. To me, this is a very important 5+ minutes for Robert Horry. If I am Greg Popovich, I say to him, look, we brought you in here to be a big part of our team. You're going to have to help us beat this Laker team. We know you got a lot of friends on this team, but you've got to really play now like you played all season long, especially at the end of the year. His three-point shooting, his defense, he can bring something this team needs, Mike.
You know, they raved about Robert Horry during training camp. They raved about him during the season, about how well, how good he was playing. But now is the time when they need him to step up and do the things he's capable of doing, not disappear.
And he shot so well in the series against Memphis. Spurs taking it in 4, but has not done it against his former team.
Remember, he was 2 for 38 from the three-point line last year in the playoffs.
Bryant again! And that's a playoff career high this season for Kobe Bryant. He now has 38, his all-time playoff career high, 48 points. Crowd looking for a traveling violation on Ginobili. Fisher with the steal, and a foul. A reach-in is called on Parker.
Barbara, that last pick and roll by Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone ran across the floor, and on the whole way over, he kept yelling at Kobe, wait, wait, wait. He's telling him right now, wait, wait, I'm coming. Sure enough, he sets the screen, gets him to space, gives Kobe the look. He responds with the basket.
Well, you can see Ginobili going under on that screen. The way Kobe is shooting the basketball now, they're going to have to trap him, make him pass, do something, but he's just coming off and measuring it. He can take the ball wherever he wants to take it right now.
Lakers with a 93-84 lead. 4.5 remaining in the fourth. Bryant sets it up for Malone. Ginobili with the steal. Malone hesitated. He had the shot. Turkoglu. Good job by Payton getting up tight on Turkoglu, preventing the three. Horry throws it back out. Parker shoots the three. Horry with the rebound, turns and fires. Here comes Payton. He has Malone ahead of the field. Oh, he's stopped from behind and fouled by Horry.
Now that's an aggressive foul. He hustled back, did not quit on the play, and Karl Malone respects that because Karl Malone would do the same thing. He thinks he's got a breakaway. You come from behind, and you don't allow him to dunk that basketball.
See Karl Malone hit his hand right now. He's grabbing his finger before he steps up to the foul line, so he may have banged it on the back of the rim that time.
game is so like the Game 4 last year, Mark. If I'm not mistaken, the Spurs had a 16-point lead in that game. The Lakers came back. They won it by 4. They evened the series at 2-2. It went back to San Antonio. So with all that's said and done, when tonight is over, if the Lakers win, the Spurs still have the home court advantage and 2 of 3 in their building.
Last year, San Antonio beat Phoenix in 6 in a very tough series, then defeated the Lakers, as you mentioned, in 6, beat Dallas in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals, and then in the NBA Finals, took out the Nets in 6. 10-point Laker lead. Just under 4 to go in the 4th. Here's Ginobili. The tip was missed, kept alive by Ori. Turkoglu from straight away for 3. Rebounded by Ori, and Ori called for the offensive foul.
You know, again, I don't mind that. If I'm Greg Popovich, I like that energy. Just the 3 most aggressive plays that Robert Ory's made tonight. The hard foul. He's going to the offensive boards. He does lower his shoulder here, but you know what? I can live with that kind of aggressiveness.
You know what, Doug? Tim Duncan got hurt. Somewhere along the way here, Tim Duncan has grabbed the right side of his chest. He's going to come out of the game. I think he's got a bruised rib, something on him. Here he is, grabbing it as he walks off the floor. He may have gotten drilled going for a rebound.
I recall he banged his left knee in a collision of the 4th quarter in Game 3 on Sunday. Here's Bryant. Yes, Kobe Bryant with 40 points. His playoff career high, had a 48-point game. Look out as Derek Fisher comes flying into our table. You okay?
Timeouts aren't even easy.
This is very
They're
physical.
contesting timeouts now, Mike.
Whoa, 3:18 remaining in this 4th quarter. We'll be right back. Guys, things getting rough on the floor and also at our broadcast location. See, I try to screen Doug out. You were just concerned with yourself, as usual.
You didn't even dive in front of me to protect them.
Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the 4th. Lakers with a 96-84 lead. Here's Duncan. And he's fouled, hit by Malone.
That was an angry play by Tim Duncan. He was upset that he got hit. He caught the ball, and he had one thing on his mind. Popovich ran the play. He said, drive that ball to the basket, lower your shoulder, do whatever you have to do. If you have to run over somebody, do it.
San Antonio had cut that Laker lead down to 3 early in the 4th. Lakers on a 20-11 run. Since then, 13 of the 20 scored by Kobe Bryant. This is one of the great playoff performances of all time that we are witnessing by Kobe Bryant. As it turns out, on a day that he spent at his pretrial hearing in Eagle, Colorado, he has put up 40 points, 14 of 23, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he has done it with a variety of spectacular shots. Here is Bryant putting the move on Ginobili, and he scores, making 42 points for Kobe Bryant.
I mean, he's incredible tonight. I mean, you sit back and watch a performance like this, but he's made every kind of shot that there is.
15 of the 42 in the 4th. Duncan, yes. So Tim Duncan, who has been very quiet in the second half, now has 19 points.
Mike asked me a while ago, you know, how are the Spurs going to get into their offense? What are they going to do? How are they going to get Duncan back into the game? In order to do that, Mike, their defense, as we see Kobe once again with a shot, they have 4 steals tonight. They forced only 7 turnovers. They have 4 points in transition. They were averaging 18 points a game in transition in San Antonio. It's a half-court game, and the Lakers are going to dominate a half-court game because they're going to load up on Tim Duncan.
Lakers in the penalty. Payton called for his 5th foul. That field goal, incidentally, by Duncan, his first in over 17 minutes of play.
You know, great players on certain nights must rise to a different level because the rest of their teammates just don't have it. Coming into this game, combined, Shaq, Kobe, game 150, game 247, game 350. Tonight, 70 of the 98 points by those two.
It's time for Fast on Their Feet, presented by Lamazil.
He said there's an assortment of shots tonight. Well, here it is, the floater down the middle. You know, the difference here is when you're one of the top-ranked shot blocking teams like San Antonio, big men go for blocks. If you're Miami, someone would have been stepping up, taking the charge that time, because there is nobody back there to block shots for Miami. So your defense is predicated on what your people are able to do. San Antonio, a shot blocking team, goes after blocks. Teams like Miami, they take charges.
And you see the timeouts remaining. San Antonio with a full and a 20. Lakers have 2 full timeouts. Both teams are over the foul limit.
When the Lakers got off to the great start this year, they were 18-3 at one stretch, and the 4 guys were all healthy and playing great. And tonight you can see they have game 3. They had 78 of the 105 points. Tonight they have 87 of the 98 points. These 4 guys are starting now, it appears, to get on that same page again. It'll be interesting going to San Antonio. Can San Antonio reverse this momentum that the Lakers have created here on their home court?
Bryant spinning. Bryant comes up short. And here's Parker on the run. The Lakers would have liked to have waited before that shot.
Well, he's going right now so well. He just feels like he's going to make every shot.
Turkoglu has gotten away with a calm. Hear the crowd reacting. The block by O'Neal, rejecting the serve.
That was a huge block shot right there. He makes that layup. It's a 6-point game. A great recovery that time by Shaq to save the layup.
Third block by Shaquille O'Neal. Coming up on a minute. Remaining of the 4th. Here's Payton off the handoff. Malone passed on the shot. Down to 2, down to 1. O'Neal will not count. It's waved off. It's a 24-second violation.
Well, Karl Malone's got to take that shot. He put Derek Fisher in a tough spot. Throws him the ball. The clock is winding down, and he had a wide open shot. There was 4 seconds on the clock, so he should have taken that one.
Doug, I'm not sure that finger's not really.
Yeah, it could have been. That's a great point.
Hit it on the rim.
That's a great point.
Parker rebounded by Fisher. Spurs have had their opportunities here. They're down by 8, but now only 45 seconds remain, and now the Lakers are playing the clock. Spurs are over the limit. Shot clock down to 5. Bryant goes at Ginobili. Here is Bryant. Parker on the run. Oh, Payton took it out of his hand. What a play by Payton. That is vintage glove. Gary Payton stripping Tony Parker.
The Lakers have to take a shot here. There's a 2-second differential.
Standing ovation from this capacity crowd. O'Neal, and that will wrap it. The series is even at 2. The Los Angeles Lakers winning both games here at home after they were beat in San Antonio in games 1 and 2. And they'll move on to the SBC Center in San Antonio for Game 5 on Thursday night. Kobe Bryant, 15 for 27 from the field, 42 points, his all-time playoff high, 48. That was pulled off at Sacramento in May of 2001. Let's go to Craig with Kobe.
Well, Kobe, after such a long, emotional day, you gave us the whole repertoire tonight, 42 points. How emotionally drained are you, and where'd you get the energy?
That was a big game, and just wanted to come out and play as hard as I possibly could, just leave it all out on the floor.
Well, at halftime, you guys were down by 10. But yet Doug Collins mentioned it was your energy that was pulling your teammates through. What happened at halftime?
Well, I mean, at halftime, I just, told the guys to remember that it's just a game. And just come out and just play and have fun and play with enthusiasm and play with energy, and we'll be all right.
During the weekend, your coach mentioned that nobody's future is certain. It's a nebulous future for this team. Suddenly play with passion. You guys have come together. Is this the type of team chemistry that maybe you guys had envisioned these last 2 games? You can carry it all the way to a championship?
We're playing hard right now. We're playing like every possession is our last. And, you know, that's the type of effort you need in the playoffs. And, you know, it's going to be an exciting game up in San Antonio.
Now that you don't have to travel to Colorado, you're back on the schedule with the team. Is there more of a comfort level for you?
Yeah, it's good just to be back. You know, I've been playing this game since I was 3, and it's just so much fun. And it feels great to be out there.
Great performance, 42 points.